Well, we got one guy back. It's a big guy to have back on your team, but we still are awaiting two others for the Philadelphia 76ers when they take the floor on Friday in New York to take on the New York Knicks. We'll give you all of that with the medical updates, the health issues going on with the Sixers here from the practice updates on the PHLY Sixers podcast, live from the Xfinity Lounge, along with Derek. I'm Devon. Bree's producing. She's the president of basketball ops. All of you in the chat. Seems like the Sixers have been off forever since they played a basketball game, and they still don't get back until Friday. But good to have practice back. We are presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Make sure when you do download the app, use the code PHLY365. Gene is first in the chat. He made it known. Welcome, Gene. Theo second, as everybody's going to start running down. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Derek is going to be third. Let's see. Quick. Derek might be third as it pops up there on the screen. But as we have it here, man, Derek was at practice today. Tyrese Maxey looks to be back as the Sixers get ready to take on the New York Knicks on the front end of the back-to-back, road and away. And then we'll see about Saturday when they also host Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks for the first time.
I really can't believe you went this far without getting in the NBA Cup champion New York Knicks.
I'm being a professional. I'm a professional. But I was in the house like, yeah.
I will say, I'm glad that your trip back from Vegas was less eventful than the last time.
Can you see it in my eyes
that
I'm tired? Yeah, I'm exhausted. That was a quick red eye back to Philadelphia. Knicks headed to Indiana. So we had to get out of there quick. Had to get out of there fast. Out of Las Vegas. We're all tired, though. All right, let's get to the practice notes as the Bree is fourth in the chat, by the way, as we keep track of how many people are jumping into the show when they do. All right, let's get to it because practice updates. First practice since they've been off after the game this past weekend. And Tyrese Maxey was back, which is great to see. But we also have some updates on Kelly Oubre and Trendon Watford. But first, Derek, Tyrese Maxey, he appears to be good to go for Friday at least.
No, I mean, he was back at practice. Nick mentioned that he had, looked a little rusty given his time off, but it looks like
whatever that sickness was,
looks like it should be good to go. And look, I think like this was if there was ever a right time to get sick, not that you ever want anybody to be sick. We want Maxey in the best health possible. I apologize for everything he's had to go through the last week. But if there's a time in the schedule where you were going to get sick, like right now, when you play like 2 games and have 5 days off, that's probably it. Because if he plays on Friday, he will have had 12 days off since his last game. That's for a player who is pushing 40 minutes per game.
Yeah,
that might be exactly what the doctor ordered. And obviously, this now gives Nick free reign to run him into the ground once again, because that seems to be Nick's impulse. But I am glad he got this basically 2-week rest here. It's probably going to do good for him.
No, it's, even when Embiid and Paul George play and they have this time off, we were thrilled that they have this little bit of a break for them to be able to play in these 4 games. Hopefully they both play. I don't know look, the one thing about back-to-back I'm just speaking about Embiid now is it's a New York trip. That's it. Can he do a New York trip, play about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes, and then come home and also play against the Dallas Mavericks? We'll see.
I'd be stunned if they did.
I know, but hey, we're talking about the break and how much time they've had off. That would be great. But you're right. For Tyrese Maxey to have this time off, man, he was being run into the ground. Yeah, he really was. And he really needed a break. And look, his sickness, his illness, he's still young. He can come right back to it where he's dropping 25, 27, maybe 30 against the New York Knicks on Friday. So it's great to have him back, to see him out there, because as good as they were and as fun as that one win was that they had over the Pacers, we also know that if he was available for the second game there, he might have been able to get out there and play against the Atlanta Hawks on Sunday, and that might have put them over the top with a victory if Tyrese Maxey was available. So good to have him back as they get ready to take on the New York Knicks, who are top 2 in the Eastern Conference right now.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking to myself, like, hey, Knicks actually dialed it back a little bit. He's not playing Maxey quite as much as he previously did. And then I looked at it, 40 minutes against the Warriors, 37 minutes against the Bucks, 39 minutes against the Lakers. And the funny thing is that is actually dialing back a little bit for Maxey, because through the first 19 games of the season, he was averaging 41 minutes per game.
All they do is play clutch games. He cannot sit down for very long, and certainly not long in the fourth
He cannot
quarter.
play 41 minutes per night and still be alive by the end of this. This is not the NBA from the 1970s. People actually move on the court now. So yeah, I do look, he's in phenomenal shape. One of the best conditioned athletes in the NBA, can run for days and days and days. He'll be out there. He'll be giving effort. I just worry eventually, going to come up short on some of those jumpers, going to have a little tougher time maybe getting to the rim. I would love to see, especially you're getting a lot of your guys back. You just had a long break. Maybe 36 to 38 per night. That's all I'm asking for.
That's fair. That is more than fair, because it's not that what could happen when the jumpers are a little bit short, or you can see them a little bit fatigued out there. We have seen it already, where we get to a fourth quarter stretch where you expected Maxey to close things out and take over the game and just ice it as a closer, and the shots are falling short. Yep. He's missing layups. He's getting a little fatigued. He's getting frustrated. We have seen it already. This is great for him to get this little break. And look, the back-to-back for sure. But then I think they're off again, and they don't play until Tuesday the following week. So still a little bit of time off after they play on Friday, Saturday, nothing Sunday and Monday, back on the floor on Friday. And then there's only one more game. I think it's what? When do they play?
Buddy, I look today and tomorrow. That's all I got.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, they have 2 games next week early during the week before Christmas. So I think they're pretty good. All right, let's get an update on Kelly Oubre and Trendon Watford, because you also need them back. We've highlighted already where we've seen spots where Watford would be helpful. With Jared McCain struggling and the ball handling, Trendon Watford will help out there. But Kelly Oubre also brings the ball up sometimes. What we've talked about is two-way ability, and that being missed. Is there any chance that we get to see those guys sooner rather than later, or is this going to be longer than expected?
Yeah. So real quick on the schedule, next week, it's Tuesday. Then they're off until Friday. Then they have games Sunday.
Right.
Yeah. So just closing that loop. No, look, in terms of Trendon and Kelly, they both had checkups last week. They're not ready to take part in full team activities. They both went through individualized workouts, the team called it, at practice today. But like I said, not a group workout. Doesn't seem like they are necessarily right around the corner. Trendon spoke, and he seemed like he was a little bit optimistic that it won't be too long. But look, we all know, when you've missed, because what has Watford missed now? He's missed a good couple weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah. And Kelly over a month. When you miss that much time, they don't just throw you right back into the games. They're going to have you go through a bunch of 5-on-5 practices. So if they're not even at the point where they're doing team activities, I do think it's going to be a little bit of time. It does
8 games in total he has missed. Yeah. Straight.
So yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit before you get those 2 back. I don't think it's necessarily going to be super long. I do think they're trending in the right direction. You could say they're on the ramp back to returning, but they are not as imminent as Tyrese for sure.
And look, you have to take your time. You can't just rush them back out there on the floor, as you pointed out. But it is a bit of a bummer to not. We keep asking to see this entire team at full strength. We have yet to see the team at full strength. Someone had mentioned it, how that was the first time with Embiid, George, and Maxey just recently that we saw them, which was only the second time, I believe, that we had seen those 3 together. But we haven't seen those 3 with the full complement of the roster, including Oubre and Watford, healthy enough to get out there on the floor. So it is a bummer, because we've had this stretch here of 4 games over the course of 2 weeks. 4 games in 2 weeks. And it's taken them this long. Nothing wrong with what they're doing. Of course, they cannot control the rehabilitation, how they feel of getting back out there on the floor. But as we try to evaluate them and continue to evaluate them of where they are, and try to stack them up against some of these other teams and how good are they really, we cannot really do that outside of the Maxey being great, Paul George looking phenomenal, and being able to still elevate his game and guide you to a win, and spot things here with other players on the roster. We still can't evaluate them in full because we haven't seen it yet.
No, and it's a lot that, you're just now seeing Paul George look like Paul George. Joel Embiid is just now starting to play, it seems like, on a regular schedule. Kelly's been out for a long time. Watford's been out for a long time. It does seem like they are slowly trending in the right direction, as our buddy Eugene mentions in the chat.
Ed Wright says, would you say he's trending?
It was
Watford?
Ed Wright. My apologies.
Trending
Gene,
Watford.
you get credit for that too.
Yeah, both of them.
No, it does seem like they're trending in the right direction. You're getting close to like actually having your full complement of players for what I believe would be the first time pretty much all year.
All year.
How many have the three Maxes played together? Like we're talking 3 or 4 games,
3 games.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are getting to the point where you might be able to evaluate them a little better. We're getting to a point where we might be able to evaluate Nick Nurse and see whether or not, how he envisions the rotation when everyone's healthy. I do think that there's a lot of interesting battles or discussions to be had. Is he going to stick with Kelly in that starting lineup? Has Barlow done enough? And does the skill set fit enough where maybe you would want to go in that direction, get a little bit of a bigger forward, a more rebounding forward in there? There's some real questions to be asked. But yeah, I'm real curious to see, because this is a team who we've talked about it recently, where over the last 15 or so games, there's something like a top 5 or 6 defense in the league. I'm not sure I necessarily 100% believe that, but they have so many pieces on the perimeter that they can go to with VJ, with Kelly, with Paul, where you can, and Grimes, a pretty good one-on-one defender in there as well, where you can start putting together some really interesting combinations that can be competitive and allow Embiid to not have to anchor the defense in the way that he previously has. Is Nick able to get the most out of that? Is his scheme, which quite frankly just hasn't been forcing all that many turnovers, is he able to generate those turnovers, get them out on the break without really compromising his backline defense? It's going to be really interesting. We are seeing a lot of, I feel like, pieces start to figure things out, whether that's Paul, whether that's Joel putting things together. And a lot of that has come with Kelly now out of the lineup. You add in that dynamic of a defender. What does that all look like? And I think we're getting closer to seeing that, just not quite there yet.
So what is it? So Theo says it's been the last top 5 in the last 15 games, which, found incredible. You said you're still not buying it. That's around that window, right? About 15 games where they've looked at, in terms of statistically of where they rank right now. That's about the game.
No,
sample.
I'm going off the top of my head, but it was the last 15 games. And I forget if it was 5 or 6, but it was somewhere right around there. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So what is it that you don't believe? Because there hasn't been a lot of what we've seen before where it was like, all right, they're playing some good defensive efforts out there, but they're still giving up a lot of points. The points are not as high as they were before, and that's with Kelly Oubre not in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple things. First of all, I would always look at like the opponent. How are they shooting? Right now, over that 15-game stretch, opponents are shooting about league average, 35% from three-point range. So that's a pretty good indicator. Like if you are not, a lot of times when you start going through these stretches, you'll see opponents shooting like, I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, yeah, opponents shooting 35%. That's a good mark. League average is somewhere around 36, 37%. But even still, that's not going to completely change the equation. I just, I worry about when teams are able to really attack in the pick and roll. I still feel like the perimeter defense isn't as locked in as it needs to be. You're getting guys blowing by their first assignment quite a bit, and Embiid's not able to recover quite as much. And then you just have like some guys that are going to be in the rotation, like Maxey. I think Maxey's a neutral to maybe slightly positive defender. He can still be picked on by certain guys. Watford, we've talked about. McCain obviously can be picked on. Joel Embiid is a little bit of a struggle in the pick and roll. Drummond's a struggle in the pick and roll. I just feel like there's individual matchups teams can exploit. I think they're probably I think it can be like a average to like maybe a top 12 to 15 group. I'm just not sure they have the top 5 upside they've shown.
Now, if they are somewhere in that 10 to 15 range by the end of the year going into the postseason, of course, we hope. Do you feel like the offense is good enough to hang with the defense to maybe be competitive in a series?
I think this team can be a top 10 offense if guys are healthy.
With a 10 to 15 defense, that's pretty good in the series.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it has to be matchup specific because we know that some might work, some may not. You get matched up with the wrong one, and then you're cooked. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if they have a really good matchup for them, that might be able to get you a series.
Yeah, no, if they are healthy, which again, that's the
main
if that
part.
we have been talking about
That's
for a
the
year and a
main part.
half.
It's unbelievable.
I think they can be a really good team. And I think what we've seen so far, like I said, the Embiid defense, especially up until the last week or so, the Embiid defense had me pretty concerned because he's like an immobile, or at least a center who doesn't want to rotate or isn't confident enough to rotate, can be picked on pretty much every trip down the floor. That's why we have been focused on his defense. You know, from the moment he came into the league, he was a plus defender, and at one point was a defensive player of the year caliber player, and has always been a backbone of it. That position has a chance to both cover up a lot of warts, but also if that is a wart, it's very, very tough to scheme against it. We had Tim Legler on like a week ago, and he was like, if Embiid can't move better, I don't know if you can scheme around that. So he is still the one where like I need to see how he reacts, how the knee reacts, how his game changes as he gets more confidence. If he is let's say a league average defender, and you get people like Paul healthy, then yeah, I think this team can win a lot of games.
All right. Well, listen, Nick Nurse is the one that's making the decisions as far as the rotation goes, who's in, who's out, how long they play in specific games with the minutes. And Davon had a question in the chat that we're going to get to on the other side to kind of play off of the guys being at practice, missing Kelly Oubre in terms of the defense, but offensively the same with Trendon Watford. About Nick Nurse, we'll get into that question on the other side. We'll also talk about one of the guys that sent down to the G League, had himself a night. We got to talk about him as well, the NBA Cup, and much, much more as we hang out with you on this Wednesday, our last 3 p.m. show of the week, off Thursday, games on Friday and Saturday. Let's get it all in here on this particular show. Presented by Bet365. It's the PHLY Sixers podcast. We'll be back. All right, we know about the last-minute gifts, everybody, and typically you go with, let me just get a gift card. Maybe they don't want a gift card. They want the thoughtfulness of the gift that you give, and that's where Aura Frames comes in, where you have to get the Aura Frames and give them some great photos of you, your friendship, your family, the love, all of it right there. And it's very easy, too, because with Aura Frames, you get to download unlimited photos and video for free, and you can also do so all year long straight from your phone. It's a very easy thing to do. It's a great gift. It is also gift box included with every frame, comes packaged in a premium gift with the great gift box with no price tag at all. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off. Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code PHLY at checkout. That's Aura Frames, AURAFrames.com, promo code PHLY. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get in on time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. And I got to tell you about our great people at Bet365. Whatever the moment's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm a winner. NBA Cup game last night. Used the profit boost and everything. I was good to go as one of the 90 million users worldwide at Bet365. I even saw activity on social media where they were just, let me halftime live bet. And you can do that at Bet365 as one of the 90 million users worldwide. If you're jealous of us and you want to jump in, here's how you do it. You get ready for Thursday Night Football tomorrow by being one of the new customers and downloading the app using the code PHLY365. And when you do, you deposit $10, place a bet for $5. You get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, no matter what. You must be 21 plus, physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we're back here on the PHLY Sixers podcast on a Wednesday. Look at that. Off Thursday, back on Friday, pregame Sixers Knicks road game from the Garden. So it would be Derek, and Bree will be here with you hanging out. Knicks Sixers on Friday. All right, we got to tell you about, number one, we got to tell you about some hats. Again, everybody, that we got the new styles there. Look at that. Look in the front. Look at that navy blue. That's the basketball theme hat. So that's love for our show here. So maybe you want to get that one. The Flyers in black right there. Cream and black on the right as well. And then you have the PHLY in the shield on the left with the golf hat, because I see the string in the front. If you like those, if you want to wear those, you want to give one as a gift, go to allphly.com, hit the merch drop button where you can buy and purchase those new hats. Or you can go to store.allcitynetwork.com as well. Pass it along to a family, friend, or your brother is a big PHLY fan, favorite show. Go ahead, support the network here by going and represent with those great, great new hats that we have. And you know we love when you represent us here with the basketball hat and that navy blue. So go ahead and cop that one as well. Allphly.com, new merch right away. Also, when you go to allphly.com, our good buddy Tim Cato from Dallas, DLLS Mavs, Tim Cato has a new story up, how Basketball Reference became the internet's leading resource for the NBA's most trivial subject, nicknames. Half of them don't even seem like, I'm like, I never heard that before. I know that player. I've never heard that as a nickname. Go check it out at allphly.com. There's a lot of guys have like 8 names on there.
We should have them on it. So those guys who run that are based out of Philly.
Okay.
Sean Foreman specifically is in Philly. We should have them on, talk about how they come up with some of those nicknames. I bet you we can do
where
that.
do they find these?
Yeah.
Do they make them up? We got to find out.
Like, I'm pretty sure on Joel Embiid, they have the Do a 360 on there as a nickname. Like, they are very in tune with like jokes about the players, and they just throw them in there.
Okay. All right, cool. So make sure you go check it out, allphly.com. And on Friday and Saturday, Derek will have the instant reaction to the Sixers games, both against the Knicks and the Mavs. Cooper Flag in town this weekend. First time.
Fresh off a 42-point performance.
Fresh
Cooper
off
Flag.
of 42.
Yeah.
Fresh off of 42.
Yep.
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty darn good.
It's why, like, when a lot of people overreact to me, oh, he looks like he's struggling, yada, yada. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
They'll figure it out. If you watched him last year, struggled early,
Yep.
and then he was dominant.
Yep. Tough. So tough. That's why we all picked him as our winner for the Rookie of the Year.
We went way out on a limb and had Cooper Flag as Rookie of the Year.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. All right, let's get to school. Davon, a.k.a. Schoolboy Beats, on the chat says, Nick Nurse, does he have a scheme or a system? I never know, in the Tony Baker voice. I can't do the Tony Baker voice, but I never know. Do you feel like it's scheme or system?
Yeah. So real quick, I just want to go back and kind of like close the discussion that we previously had about why I'm not 100% buying the defense. A lot of it's just the teams they've been playing lately, right? You've got the Pacers. I think they have like second worst defense or second worst offense in the league. You had the Bucks without Giannis. You had the Warriors without their 2 main guys. You had the Wizards in there. Like, you had the Brooklyn Nets in there over that stretch. Like, they've just played a lot of poor offenses and also a lot of teams without their star players in there. So, like, I just need to see it when the schedule ramps up a bit. But like I said, I think with getting the guys back that they do, they have a chance to. I think directionally they are improving on defense. I'm just not sure if the amplitude of it is 100% reliable, I guess is the way that I would phrase that.
That's fair.
So, in terms of scheme or system, like, I certainly think offensively, I would say he has more of a system and principles that he once followed, but he lets his guys freewheel quite a bit. Defensively, I think he's probably a little stricter. Like, I feel like he has core principles there that are a little more established, and they play within that scheme. But I think coaches now more and more, like, they don't want to be calling plays every trip down the floor.
Right.
Like, they want you to have a base that you build off of and then play and react out of that. And I think Nick is in line with that.
And he does give them freedom to call the stuff that he sees. So if they see something out there, they run it. So a lot of times when we do talk about Nick Nurse, and he certainly is in terms of the rotations, that's his call. But occasionally you'll see him call a play. You'll see another coach call something. I do think he's very effective with the ATOs too, coming out of the timeouts where he has some really good things drawn up. Look, they're in the NBA, everybody does, but his are pretty effective where more often than not, they're scoring off of those actions out of the timeouts. So a lot of NBA teams do it that way. And with him, you see Ray Philly Fly says scheme with different rotations 100% when it comes to Nick Nurse with what he does with the Sixers. And I also think, too, because of the in-and-out nature of players in the lineup, a lot of times he has to adjust different things of what he calls, what he wants them to call to, those sets, those actions, because of who's available versus who's not available. Dribble handoffs drives us all crazy, but when he starts to mix things up with a few other things, pretty effective overall. Yep. So I just thought that was an interesting one. And then somebody had a pretty good follow-up that was funny, but I'll stay away from that one because you saw it?
No.
You saw it?
Give me the commenter.
Concepts.
Okay. Yeah. We'll stay away from that one.
Stay away from that one.
We are locked in together. I'm right on there with you, but not going to read that one on air.
But he's 14-11, so he's good to go. We're going to talk about Justin Edwards a little bit later and all that, but as they get ready for New York, and we will have our pregame show and stuff on Friday. But what are you looking for with them coming out of the break overall, as they've had another 4 days off? They get a good opportunity to come out here and maybe make a little bit of noise on Friday in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, I want to see whether, answer to that's always going to be Joel Embiid. How does Joel Embiid look like? He is the player who can swing the season the easiest. He is the one that can make you into a true contender. He is also the one that you are tied to for another couple of years, so you'd really like for him to look good. Any indication you can get that playing, he's closer to being a normal basketball player, closer to being able to play on 1 day rest, closer to being able to play in any kind of rhythm, getting more confidence in that knee. That's always going to be the number one thing that you look for. So that's going to be the number one thing that I say off the bat. What we were just talking about, though, defensively, like that is where a lot of I really want to see, especially now that we're starting to get into a little bit. The Mavs obviously don't have a great offense, certainly don't have enough ball handlers. That's why Cooper Flag was put there in that creation role pretty early on, which I think could be probably pretty good for him long term, but I think he's going to struggle with at times at the gate. Has been dialed back a little bit. He's not handling the ball quite as much as he was. But, I think this is you're starting to play a few more real teams, right? You've got the Knicks. Obviously, they're an okay team. I'm not going to give them any more than that, especially after last night. They don't need too much praise. You don't want certain people's heads getting too big here on this show, but they're a better offensive team than a lot of the Warriors without Butler and Steph. So I think, and then you got the Thunder coming up here. That's going to be a tough one. They've got a real tough road trip coming up, a long, tough road trip, which actually then ends in New York. But you've just got more competent professional teams. That defense that we were just talking about, top 5 in the last 15 games, can that hold up against the scrutiny of more competent NBA offenses? I'm real interested to see that. And I do hope that Paul is now back to being just a normal basketball player, not on the injury report, playing on a pretty much night-to-night basis. I hope we can get Kelly back eventually and start seeing what this team is actually capable of on that end. Because I do think, if you want to be serious, you need health, which can't really control and we're all skeptical of, but you need that defense to at least call back into that top 10, top 12 kind of area. And I think there's a chance they could be. No,
that the road trip is going to tell us a lot, because we've talked about a lot of home games that they've had here in the beginning. They haven't won a ton of them, but they've been okay on the road and certainly at home. But this road trip is going to tell us something, and they have a ton of games in January, everybody. Once we turn the calendar and we get over into 2026, which is, again, crazy, by the way, that we were getting ready for 2026. Yeah. That said, they have a lot of games, man, a lot of games, and a decent amount of those will be on the road. We're going to find out a lot about this basketball team the defenses travel, but is it going to travel and result in wins when they play these? And as Derek pointed out, they played a lot of teams, no Giannis and no Curry and Butler in one game. Draymond Green leaves in that game also. Warriors still give them a run. They have a ton of games again, everybody, in January, and they are going to be busy, and they are going to have to show us who they really are. If they are really this good, we're going to find out a lot in January, and then that will lead into the conversation, certainly, of the trade deadline. If they're still in the mix, will they go out and pick up somebody? Will they make a play for a name? Is it going to be a big name? Is it just going to be a rotational piece? A lot is going to be learned in January. A ton. Yeah. No, and January is where it gets really, really tough. Yes. And that's why we kept talking about stack the wins, man. Stack the wins. I don't know what a 4 or 5 game cushion does for you as far as over 500, but I'll take it. Yeah. Yeah, at least in January, you start playing a string of home games. So you're at least playing some of those. Like, you've got a back-to-back in this Cleveland, both at home. Now, Cleveland hasn't been quite what we expected. They're still a tough matchup for this team. You've got a lot of really tough. Denver comes in to the, I almost called it the Wells Fargo Center. It is not, is the Xfinity Mobile Arena, our favorite group, brought to you by the Xfinity Lounge. They come in, Denver comes in. So you've got some pretty tough games there in January, and that will test you more than any point in the schedule up to that point. Hopefully the Sixers can maintain their health, but yeah, stack the wins. And before we get any more of those jokes about Joel Embiid playing against Nikola Jokic, it's in Philadelphia, so he's playing. Now, it's a matter of... Wait, hold on. Is that a back-to-back there? Let's pull up. I don't know. Is there a back? No, you got to give him time. No, it's not. It's they're in New York on the 3rd, and then they're back here in Philly on the 5th against the Nuggets. See, there you go. No back-to-back. We need it, Joe. Needed Joel. Is that a nationally televised game? Do you know?
I don't know.
All right.
Ironically, I have the basketball reference schedule up. And they don't have the TV.
Don't put out the broadcast and all of that. So, yeah, man. You gotta make up some ground, but you also need Kelly Oubre and Trendon Watford to be available to also help out in that way too. All right, we take our next break. When we come back, got to go to Delaware. Well, Washington, but Delaware was in Washington, and Justin Edwards, he had himself a night. We'll talk about Justin Edwards' night, what he did against the Go-Go. We'll get into a lot more right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. You love the Go-Go name, huh?
Guys, all I can say is that I'm very happy that when Rich does post-game shows, he's here in the studio because then at least I know he has a good setup, because typically his setup is an absolute disaster. It makes analyzing game very tough. It's lagging. It's buffering. Do not be Rich Hoffman, because you see, if you call yourself a basketball fan, you have to have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination where you can find the best games and your favorite teams all in one place. And the way that you watch is next level. You've got all the action right in your living room. Plus, with Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K, it's so clear that it feels like you're in the arena. On top of that, you get real-time notifications and live stats right there on your TV. It's the best seat in the house every time. If you call yourself a basketball fan, please, please, please do better than Rich Hoffman. Always, always. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box. And guys, do you really want Joel Embiid grabbing a rebound and trying to lead the break? Maybe on rare occasions, but for the most part, kick it out to your guards and let them go. You want to keep your stars focused on doing what they do best. The same goes for your business. You don't want your top people buried in operations, the tedious, time-consuming, and redundant activities that wear the team down. Togo can help any business looking to reduce operating costs, become more efficient, or unlock more time for their best people. From customer service and accounting to order management, logistics, admin, data entry, and even complex multi-step operational processes, they take it off your plate at a fraction of the cost. Every engagement starts with free process mapping and engineering. No cost, no commitment. They don't bill a dime until the real work begins. With programs starting as low as $1,000 a month, you're not going to break the bank. Each Togo program includes dedicated staff, custom automations, and US-based process engineers who act as your quarterback, giving you complete control, total transparency, and instant efficiency. At Togo, you call the plays, they execute. Visit harnesstogo.com, scale smarter, work faster, and stay focused on winning.
And we're back here on the PHLY Sixers podcast, where now we got to talk about some G League basketball. Saw it already in there where, who was it earlier, asked about Justin Edwards. Bree, I don't think I can scroll back all the way that far back. Asking about Justin Edwards a little bit earlier. Yeah, okay, there you go. Was that Deck Inc? Checking in. Appreciate it. Ask, y'all going to talk about Justin going off in the G League game last night? Yes, we will. Yes, we will, Deck. And we're going to do that right now.
How many times I've seen a person on an NBA contract go off in the G League? You're going to have to do more than 37 points to lead off a show.
See, here you go. Why are you doing that to him? He had 37, everybody. Justin Edwards did. 13 for 21, 4 for 8 from 3. Got to the free throw line 5 times. 4 boards, 6 steals. 6. Count them. 6 steals. You not impressed?
I mean, look, here's what I'll say.
That's what he was supposed to do.
No, I'm glad he did it.
If he scored 60, that wasn't going to change your mind either.
I mean, 60 is pretty hot, much higher than 37, Devon. No, here's what I'll say.
He did play 40 minutes and only got 37.
I think there's 2 things going on. Right? I think Justin, outside of the catch and shoot 3, is a pretty limited offensive player. You ask him to put the ball on the deck, he doesn't really have a lot that he can go to. So when that jumper is then not falling, all of a sudden he goes from being a useful, rotation player to, oh my God, I don't know if you can play him. Mm-hmm. So he needs to get confidence back in that shot. If he goes down there, makes 4 of his 8 3-point attempts, gets 37 points, gets a little bit of that confidence back up, that's great. I think that's a necessary step.
And he was efficient. He was 13 for 21.
Yeah.
It's good.
Sure. That's not going to after what we've watched the last, really all season, going back into the summer, that's not going to change my confidence level. No. But if it changes his confidence level, then yes. Great. I'm glad he went down. And quite frankly, I love it when people go down to the G League and they're like, oh my God, Bona and Justin going down to G League. Does that mean they're signing Charles Bassey? No, it means the team isn't practicing today or yesterday. They're playing a G League game. Go down there, get them some run. They both came back up last night after the game. It means absolutely nothing. What it does mean is hopefully he's a little more confident, a little more decisive. Maybe some of those jumpers start going in, and he can start get back to looking like the NBA player he looked like he was last year.
Charles Bassey, by the way, DMP CD last night, did not play, so don't worry about that, especially with them Bona in town. But no, you're right. It's all about his confidence and what he feels, how good he feels, because he hasn't seen any shots fall as of late, and putting the ball on the floor has been kind of a little bit of a chore for him too. But to get the 6 steals, maybe that'll help out too, because we've seen where he's had some good defensive performances where he's really like Brandon Ingram when they played the Raptors. Brandon Ingram can go off, and he did in that game where he still got his 20 plus. But Justin Edwards has some pretty good defensive possessions against them. You're not going to stop a scorer like that when you are just a rotational body like Justin Edwards is. He's not Dyson Daniels where you don't have to score and you can still impact the game. He's had moments. It's just putting it together consistently for Justin Edwards has been the problem. And there have been guys in and out of the lineup where they've needed his 6'5", 6'6" frame, the shooting as well, the two-way ability that's not the same as Kelly Oubre or Paul George, but in his role, the two-way ability is needed because of guys being in and out of the lineup. Hopefully this helps him in some way where he just rebuilds that confidence and is able to get back out there on the floor, because Nick Nurse is going to call his number. If Jared McCain continues to struggle, he feels like he need a longer wing out there, he's going to lean on Justin Edwards to give him the nod over Jared McCain in some of these minutes. It may not be all 12 of those minutes, but it can certainly be 5 where McCain is not having it and you got to lean on Justin Edwards. So he has to, hopefully this helps him out and he brings that back with him on Friday when they play the Knicks, and certainly on Saturday when they're going to need these guys back to back.
Yeah. No, look, and Justin is, he's certainly a flawed player. And I think one of the things last year is that, like you mentioned, he would have moments defensively, and I think people would gravitate and latch onto those. Consistency defensively, I never thought was really there. But what he does have when he's going well is one of the quickest releases on the team. And whenever you can have somebody like that who has that quick of a release, has that kind of range, and can spread the floor like that, he can add value offensively, even if his off-dribble game is a little bit limited. So if he can get back to making shots, yeah, he's got a spot in the rotation. It's just it seems like he's been struggling here for like a 6-month stretch straight. Like, he didn't look like he was playing well in Summer League. Didn't look like he was playing well in the preseason. Hasn't been playing well here for a while. So it's just been a long time since we've seen a good version of Justin Edwards. Quite frankly, if you want to send him down there and give him a little bit more of a stint just to really build up that confidence, but you do need players of his archetype, especially until Kelly comes back. You need more help on the wings, and hopefully this was enough of a confidence boost where he can be back to being a rotation player.
Appreciate you bringing it up, Deck Inc. There you go. Little Justin Edwards conversation. So you just ignoring the Dem bonus 12 points and 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks?
He also had a team high plus 14 plus minus.
He also only had...
Which I don't
He also
care
played
about.
32 minutes and had 4 rebounds.
Yeah.
Again.
It happens.
A lot.
When you're 6'9", 6'10", like, it's just hard to go get those boards.
Janai Broom had 7.
Yeah, look, part of the problem here is that it's tough for me to analyze the game because I didn't watch the game.
Yeah.
But, look, Adem is you're yeah, I wish you rebounded more.
I do too. Yeah. Skal Labissiere?
I always said Labissiere.
Labissiere. 25.
Yeah.
And 8.
What is he, like 30 at
He's
this
like
point?
36.
He was a really highly regarded high school prospect at one point.
Yeah, Sharif Cooper, he had 11. And A.J. Johnson had 23. Went down to the go-go.
So do you think Omar was there?
I think so. Jazz
with the watch?
Might have had the watch. Okay. Might have been me mugging the officials. All that. All right, real fast before we take our last break, your thoughts on the NBA Cup? All kidding aside, do you like the Cup? It was if you watched the game, it was really entertaining. And I was nervous for a while because they were down by like 9 or 10 in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, we're not going to get this one. But came back and got it done.
Skal Labissiere, just looked it up. He'll turn 30 in March.
Okay.
He was the number 2 ranked prospect in his high school class.
And I never saw it. I never got it.
Went to Kentucky. Really, really average there.
Yes, he was.
What did he end up being? Was he a second-round pick?
Second-round pick with the Kings. Yep.
Anyway.
What did you think of the game? It was a really entertaining game.
It was a really entertaining game.
It was. And I liked the outcome, but it was a really entertaining game overall. Look.
You're going to have to riff for a minute, Devon.
Wembanyama is really good, as we know, but we talked about this yesterday. I said at the end of the show with the Kings. Steph Castle, man. The Shepherd part, I get why Houston. When we did our mock draft, our final mock draft, I was like, Steph Castle is going to Houston. It just made too much sense. Man, would he and Amen Thompson in that backcourt look really good together.
Yeah.
He is so good.
No, and like that was back and forth of the game. You know, Spurs looked like they had a pretty decent lead there at one point. Looked like they had a chance to, I don't want to say run away with it, but control it. Just a really good all-around game. I think Steph has taken a pretty big leap. Like, I know he won Rookie of the Year, but his season wasn't all that impressive. It was a really bad rookie class. He was a really inefficient offensive player. Great defender, but I thought he had a lot of work to go. His passing has made a huge jump this year. Man. He's so much better inside the arc. Still obviously has to work on that perimeter shot, but I do like the way that he is trending. And just the overall game, like Wemby back on the court doing Wemby things will always be an incredible watch. It is Harper, who's been struggling a little bit trying to find his spot. He was going off.
He was taking threes early, and I'm like, you shouldn't be taking that.
No, you shouldn't be,
and
but they're going in.
Yeah. And then he took one in the fourth quarter where I think the Knicks took a 2-point lead or a 3-point lead. No, it was like a 5-point lead. He came down, and he just, confidence rose up from the left. Bang, knocked it down. I'm like, oh, here we go. Yep. And it cut it to 2, but the Knicks went on their run, and they did what they did. But that's San Antonio. Look, we picked them as our sleeper team in the West.
I don't know if you can be sleeper when you've got a 7 whatever.
I don't
MVP
even know,
candidate.
man. They're just really good. And the balance of Fox being dominant at one point, Castle doing his thing, Wembanyama. Then you have Vassell goes off. Keldon Johnson to have a 25-point game. Harrison Barnes drops 4 threes and gives you 17. They're just and then you have Cornette and his role, which is just phenomenal for what they. Great signing, by the way, this summer to get him. That's a really fun team. And yes, Champagnie knocking down threes as well for them. That's a fun team, man.
Yep.
That's a fun basketball team. Really fun basketball team that the San Antonio Spurs
credit to you guys for that fourth quarter. That's all I got to say about the stinking Knicks.
They had me scared. I was nervous. Tyler Kolek coming in. Jordan Clarkson, that was probably his best game as a Knick so far this season, where he got hot, hit those 2 big threes. And they never relinquished the lead. So good stuff.
Huge game from OG.
OG was going nuts. Yeah, he was going nuts. And we got the money. $500K. $500K. We'll take it last night. All right. So NBA Cup champs, the New York Knicks. Sixers played them, where there will be no banner raised in the Garden for an NBA Cup. Good call by them.
Would you raise a banner?
Nope.
Yeah, I agree.
No need. What are you doing?
You can put that in a practice facility or something, you know?
Yeah, put that in the practice facility and be done with it. No need to do that. All right, final break, and we come back. You know what we're doing here, everybody? It's our last 3 p.m. show for a while. And yes, Christmas is next week, but we're all over the place with the schedules and all. So Bree has something fun for us here. It's not movie related. We're not causing a stir here, but we got some holiday things that Bree has for us to answer some questions on the other side. So prepare, everybody. Get ready. It's the PHLY Sixers podcast, holiday edition from Bree on the other side. All right, look, here, everybody. We're talking about holiday gift giving. Game Time has you covered. When you're looking to get your loved one and some tickets to an event, I'll give you this one. My nephew, his birthday just happens to be 5 days before the holiday, before Christmas. He wants a Christmas gift, of course. And he wants a holiday gift. And you know what he asked for? Philadelphia versus Dallas tickets with the big event with the #1 overall pick coming into town. So you know what I did? I went right to the app on my phone and went to Game Time. That easy. Got the tickets. Got that out of the way. He's happy. I'm thrilled. It's all good. You know what else? There's a big event coming this summer. How about World Cup in town? The World Cup tickets, easy to find and buy those tickets here in the summer here in Philadelphia. So we've done it before in the past here on the Sixers show. in Las Vegas, and we're doing it right now with Dallas and Philadelphia as well. Take the guesswork out of buying soccer tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms and conditions apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today.
You know the moment, the one where you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of the car, at a gas station 3 states away. Well, we've been there too. I've literally done that a couple of times where the shades are on top of the car. It's the worst feeling in the world. There's no chance you are getting those back. But then we found Shady Rays and it changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life. Good looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And here's the best part. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now I actually wear my sunglasses without fear on hikes, concerts, on the boat, wherever. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PHLY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
And we're back here on the PHLY Sixers podcast, final segment here on this Wednesday. We got a super chat from Davon. We talked about Davon a little bit earlier. We got a super chat here. It says, in hindsight, would you have taken Jarrett over Kayshawn George?
I mean, look, I would have to watch Kayshawn a little bit more. Like, I don't watch a ton of Wizards games. But, like, whenever you're talking about a bigger player who's shooting the heck out of the ball, like he's 6'8" and can defend the heck out of the ball too,
and can defend.
It would be, I would certainly understand. Like we've talked a lot about, and look, when you're talking about like what was Jared, the 16th pick in the draft,
yep.
There's always going to be like, oh well, getting the absolute best player out of all the remaining players available is really tough. The concern that we've always had, expressed from the moment of the draft and the show's pre-draft, it was like Jared's really good, like him a lot, not sure about the fit next to Maxey, and even after 23 games last year, Jared's really good, like him a lot. I still believe he's really good, even with the current slump. Not sure about the fit next to Maxey. When you have someone like George who doesn't share that and is sort of like popping it in the same way that McCain popped last year, then you would have to at least consider it. I'd have to actually sit there and watch like every Washington game, which I quite frankly value my time too much right now to do. But I understand the question.
He had a stretch, though, for about 5 games earlier in the year where he was going nuts offensively, hitting those threes as you talked about, and then defensively. I watched him a couple of times.
That really is, like, I'd have to narrow down on the habits, on the, attention to detail and scheme and the defense, and I just haven't done that.
I saw him play 2 games against the Knicks, too, where he really gave them problems defensively and offensively. So it's an interesting one. I think I would still lean McCain right now. I'll just extend it real fast so we can get to Bree's holiday thing here. Forget about the Morey part. I'm asking you. Would you have taken at 16, if available, Kayshawn George goes 15, Ware and McCain are on the board? Who are you taking? Hindsight, I get, but just asking. Because that night, I remember you guys didn't love the McCain piece because of Maxey and the fit, but you also were looking at future things for the backup big behind Joel Embiid.
Yeah, and Ware went 1 ahead. Right?
Ware went 15. Yeah. Yep.
Because it feels like the Heat always draft 1 ahead of the Sixers.
They did.
They were 1 ahead of the Sixers on the Maxey pick.
And that night we did say, you know what they're going to do? They're going to take McCain here. No, we said they were going to take Connect at that spot. Yes.
And Ware's shooting pretty well, too, from the perimeter. Like, he's shooting above 40% on a pretty small sample, but he's shooting pretty well as well. Look, again, I'd have to sit down. I think Ware probably has more upside and certainly has more upside on this team. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to, like, focus too much on this because I do think, it's fun.
It's nice little fun.
No, I know, but it sounds like you're not appreciating. Like, I think they had a really good pick with McCain.
Same.
And I'm still fairly confident in his future. Like I said, short-term concerns of him just not being able to get to his spots offensively, I think, are mostly short-term. The long-term fit next to Maxey is what I'm going to focus on, and why I hope he plays a little bit more, quite frankly, just so we can get some tape on that, some data on that, and we can evaluate that fit. Again, if you want the 7-footer who is playing really well and can fit a little easier, but like I said last time, I don't think Daryl would have ever invested that high of a resource on a 7-footer that he...
No, I know. That's why I excluded him. I was talking about you and this one. Twan, we saw that mock trade from the Bleacher Report as well. Wells and Gigi Jackson for McCain. We saw that. That's not happening. At least I don't think that's happening. All right, let's get to Bree's game here. It's the holiday season. We have, I don't even know what our schedule is next week, but we needed to get this done now.
Yeah.
And Bree is absolutely right. So there's a this or that holiday edition, Bree. It's all yours. All right, let's get to it.
All right, let's do it. Coffee or tea?
So are we just talking in general about like specific like Christmas flavors? In general, I drink way more coffee than tea.
And I drink tea all the time, no coffee. Yeah. So I think that's where we both lean during the holiday season.
No, I don't wake up and do anything before I've had at least 24 ounces of coffee. I'm not kidding.
And I only do 2 cups of tea during the week. I mean, during the day anyway, because if you do too many, you're in trouble. You're just going to be going running back and forth. But yeah, I'm going tea, no coffee.
I've gotten better. I used to drink coffee throughout the day. Like legitimately, I'd have like a 4 p.m. coffee. Now I only have coffee like afternoon if I'm at a game.
I've never seen you drink tea either, though. I've only seen you
drink some tea at home, but never when I'm out.
And you know, I walk in the building with my tea.
I've had to go get tea for Devon before.
Yes, he did. He got tea for me. Yeah, absolutely. Bree, what are you?
I'm with Derek on that. I'm coffee all the way.
All right.
I'm not a tea person.
Is there a holiday, like, the pumpkin spice and all that stuff for the...
Yeah, I hate pumpkin spice because they start bringing it out in like mid-August now, and I push back on that. So I'm out on pumpkin spice completely.
But is there a Christmas flavor that you guys may lean more towards?
No. Honestly, I'm just give me coffee. Yeah.
All right. Gene and Twan, tea. They're with me. Coffee, all of them other Theo with you guys with the coffee. All right.
I will drink tea. I can't go without coffee.
Yeah. All right, I cannot go without.
And it's always warm coffee. It could be the middle of August. It's a hot coffee.
So my tea thing is always something that I grew up with my grandmother. I talked about her yesterday from Massachusetts. That was the thing that we had. We would sit at the table at like 8 o'clock at night and drink tea and talk and have like our Portuguese bread and all that stuff. Then when I started doing radio, it was a habit of mine to drink tea before I went on the air. So I would make sure that my voice was right for the show. All right. Cool stuff. Good to see everybody contributing. Coffee. Caramel macchiato.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. I just know the caramel part, as Jess says that. All right, what do we have second?
All right, online shopping or in-store?
Oh, God.
For the holidays.
More online, but I will go to the store like you both know I did yesterday after the show.
When I go to the store, it's like I've run out of ideas. I hope I stumble into something that triggers it. So I prefer to shop online. I do most of my shopping online, but like the week before, I will mosey into a store because I'm like, I'm out of ideas. I got to find something.
We're off tomorrow, everybody. I was texting during the show back and forth with one of my best friends. We're making a run to the store tomorrow that we both have to do. So I will be doing some of that tomorrow. And online for me. Right at the door. Meet me at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meet me at the door.
Maniacs out there right now.
100%.
No.
100%. Kel Noseball says.
When was the last time you were out on a Black Friday? I think it's been at least a decade.
10 years.
Yeah,
it has to be at least 10 years. Because I would always say, no, I'm not going.
Well, nowadays, they just carry most of those deals over throughout the rest of the month anyway. So, like, why am I going to go out there
what
with...
am I rushing for? Yeah, absolutely. The best ones are online. Thank you, Bree. What about you? Online, in-store?
Yeah, I'm online all the way.
All right, cool. Number 3. This is a great one, Bree.
2
Eggnog,
classics, right?
Hot chocolate. I'm easily going hot chocolate.
Yeah, me too. I don't even think I like
eggnog. Whole feel for it because everybody's like, "Oh, this is great! It's, Wawa, fantastic." No, going hot chocolate
every day of the week. I'm going hot chocolate. Not even close.
Not even close. Marshmallows, whipped cream.
Marshmallows usually not whipped cream though.
How about you, Bree?
I will have some whipped cream though.
Yeah, I'm basic with it too, but
hot
give me
chocolate.
the works, whatever.
The works.
Yeah, give it to me.
All right, there you go. I'm in. Hot chocolate, easy call for the PHLY Sixers show. Good call.
All right, candy or chocolate?
Chocolate.
I've
got a real.
So are we talking like Reese's themed Christmas tree?
Let's go that. Let's go like there. Your favorite chocolate versus your favorite candy.
I'll go there. I'm chocolate.
Yeah.
That would be the main one though.
Yeah.
That's the main one.
I mean, but I eat Reese's all year. I don't need it to be a holiday.
But no,
I will say
the holiday, the Easter bunny, the
tree,
pumpkin and the tree. For whatever reason,
there's a different consistency.
Yes, it is.
100%.
Yes, it is. Yes. What is going on, Reese's?
Yes.
Yes.
But again, that doesn't need to be a Christmas one. That can be the Easter one. That can be, they have stuff during Halloween and stuff. So
yeah.
yeah.
What about
In
you, Bree?
general, I am chocolate over candy. But
Okay.
Reese's are just my.
But
they're
I
my-
also think
they're my kryptonite 365.
Yeah, but
so-
during the year we eat a lot of just the regular sweet candy.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Bree.
Yeah, I think chocolate for holidays, but I think candy overall.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at D Flyer says the solid bunny. Reese's bunny, man. I'm telling you, That's right. That's right. Not in the locker room in the football season when your team is losing 3 in a row. You don't need the bunny, but you need the chocolate Easter bunny. There you go.
I'm real bad with Reese's.
Yeah.
Real bad.
All right. What do we have next?
All right, here's bringing back the movie talk for a quick sec.
Uh-oh.
Home Alone or Elf?
Home Alone for
Home
me.
Alone.
Yeah, same.
Home Alone for me.
All right, that was
It's
easy
probably
one then.
just
All
that
right.
it hit at a point where like,
Rich loves Elf, by the way. It's his #1 Christmas movie.
huh.
So
I mean, I will have to go back and rewatch. I haven't watched either of these in a while, just because I probably watched Home Alone like 15 times in the first like 10 years it was out. So I'd have to go back and rewatch Elf, but Home Alone's just more iconic to me.
yeah, I'm going Home Alone. My guy John Candy, quick appearance, and he's like, John Candy's in here. There you go.
There are some
Alone.
other people that make cameos in there that I am not as
That was
happy about.
2. I'm talking about 1.
We won't mention any names.
No, we
'cause
will
we're
not.
not allowed to.
No,
but
we
yeah,
will
not.
not.
All those cameos are great.
No. Let's go to number 6, Bree. What Home Alone or Elf for you?
Home Alone,
right,
1000%.
cool.
All right, real, fake,
Fake for
trees.
I prefer real. I usually set up a fake one though.
me. I prefer fake because of all the real trees that we've had and the needles, throwing it away,
See, my fake tree
all of that.
sheds needles all the time.
Love
too.
the fake tree. Love the fake tree.
No,
Love the
I
fake tree.
prefer real, but I'm also a hypocrite and I have a fake tree up right now. It's just so much easier.
Yeah, it's so much easier, man. Put that thing back in the box.
I will never get a real tree ever again.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
look at
good.
that, Bree.
I think
I like
I'm
it.
sold for life on the fake tree.
Look at all the fake trees in there. Look at that in the chat. Too much mess, Theo says. Yes.
valid.
There's a smell with the real trees though that
Oh,
I
it's
really
beautiful.
appreciate.
Of course.
Yeah, you
That's
love
when you
it.
buy the plug-in. You plug it right next to the.
But when
the
do
tree.
you get the real tree?
What do you mean? Like what time of year?
Yeah, because then you got to worry about watering it all the time. And
Yeah,
all
I
that stuff.
don't set up a tree before December.
Okay.
I won't even go like most people are like after Thanksgiving. No, I needed to say December on the calendar.
I even said to the girls last night, when are we putting the tree up? Because they haven't done it yet. So I'm like,
okay, that's a little late.
I'm like, all right, cool. But I think it's getting done this weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean, it
there.
better because that's your last weekend.
Fake tree.
Yeah.
All in. What do you got, Bree? Let's run these
Holiday movies or music?
movies. I do have some of my favorites in terms of songs, like Mariah Carey, of course. She makes a ton of money
I
off
just
of
heard
that.
it too many times.
Yeah, but like Let It Snow with Boys II Men.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I'm definitely
Friday
a
night, all that stuff.
I'm definitely a
All right,
movies guy.
movies for sure. Bree.
Same.
All right,
All right, physical gifts or gift cards?
physical gifts.
Physical gifts.
Yeah, I
you should
think-
put some thought into gifts.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I said that
retweets.
there with the aura frames. Put some thought into it.
I
Come
have
on.
people like, why don't you tell me what you want? I'm like, because I want you to pick out. I have a bank account. If I want something, I can get it. I want your perspective on what might be helpful or what I might enjoy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Bree, gifts?
Yeah, physical. I hate giving gift
All right.
cards.
All right.
I love it, like, because I have some family members that we only get gift cards because we're just like, I'm done putting in effort.
That's fair.
And I'm like, we just exchange gift cards. Why don't we just like keep our money next time?
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Put some thought into it. All right. Travel or stay local,
Yeah.
Bree?
What do you guys like?
Stay local.
No, my family, my main family is like an hour drive away.
Yeah.
Which is both perfect because I stay local during holidays, but also I end up getting guilted into going up there once or twice a week to. They're close enough that I can see them regularly, which has both good and bad consequences to it. But no, stay local.
Quick, everybody, like a 2-minute overtime here at allphly.com. Thank you, everyone on the television side. We'll see you on Friday. We're off Thursday. Back for pregame Sixers Knicks on Friday right here on the PHLY Sixers pregame show. Bree, travel, stay local.
I have to travel, but I'd rather stay local.
I've traveled to 2 spots done them multiple times. My dad lived in California for a lot of the years. I would travel to see him, hang out for Christmas. And my grandmother that I talked about in Massachusetts, I would go see her also. So it's special to travel, but it was never we all just go to an island and that's our Christmas. It's always going to see my dad or my grandmother.
Yeah, no. If you're talking about travel like a vacation, my family is way too disorganized and hectic for a vacation. That would never happen. That would be a disaster. I have traveled once or twice because my mom's side of family lives out in Illinois.
Yep.
So I've gone out there like once or twice while growing up for the holidays. But for the most part, we stay local.
Yep. Final one.
All right, seems like a good way to end it. Do you guys rather NBA or NFL on Christmas Day?
That's the NBA's day. Thanksgiving is the NFL's day.
Yeah.
The NBA is Christmas Day.
100%.
Especially if we don't have to do a game.
Yes, that's true. If we're talking about
it's about us.
Yeah, I don't love working Christmas Day. I'll be honest with you. So if the Sixers are a good high profile team, make it football's day. But otherwise, I prefer to watch basketball. Yeah.
Absolutely, Brie, that's dope. Like that.
Yeah.
Did you know
GG,
about
good job,
what
man.
these questions were going to be?
No, only one I knew was the coffee tea one.
Okay.
Other than that, this is all Brie with everything else. And the hot chocolate, but I didn't know it was going to be up against eggnog.
You didn't know the opponent.
Great stuff, everybody. Thanks for participating there in the chat. We got to run. So we're going to do a quick roll call of saying it's the world famous roll call. Thank you. We love you. We appreciate it. Hit the like button, like and subscribe. We're off on Thursday. We'll see you on Friday for Knicks Sixers back in action. It's the NBA Cup champs against the Sixers. We'll see how it all plays out. For Derek, Bree, I'm Devon. We love you all. We'll see you on Friday right here. Pre-game, 6:30 on the PHLY Sixers podcast. See ya.
We all silly like the mayor.